This lesson is on how to use the program called Audacity, which is what we use to create audio files. Now, Audacity is a free download from the internet if you want one, if you want it for home. And you may also need to download something else. I'm not going to get into that too much. If you want instructions, you can go to YouTube and find out exactly what you need to do. I'm not going to be able to convert these into MP3 files because I don't have that extra little program, but I can convert this into a WAV file, which we can then put into a movie file or play on a Windows based type of PC. So before I start, things you can do with an audio file. First of all, you can use it to study. So you can read out the notes, and then you put that onto your MP3 player, and then listen to your notes rather than read them and reread them. I know that I use it for driving instructions when I'm driving somewhere alone and I don't have a chance to look at the Google map. I'll just read myself the instructions and play and pause. You can It's also referred to as podcasting, right? So whatever it is you verbalize, you can then put onto your iPod and then listen to it anytime you want. In school, for group projects or individual projects, you can create your own radio commercial and try to time it so that it's appropriate and then promote or advertise wherever you'd like. You can also, teachers might choose to have students give a speech. And rather than give the speech live in front of other people because they're too shy to do so, they can podcast it. So they can write it all out, type it all out, and then read it and make it perfect and then hand that in as a project. So lots of different uses for audio files. Now, the first thing you need to do is plug in your microphone and then test it to make sure it works. Now, this is the button for record. So I'm just going to click it real quick. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for this right here. So I'm seeing changes. So I know that it's working. And then you can stop it. And then you can just delete that track because it isn't any good. And when I hit record again, it's just going to give me a brand new track. So I know my microphone's working. Now, this is the record. This is the pause. So if somebody wants to talk to you or the phone rings, whatever, you don't need to start over. You just pause your lesson. Try to remember where you were, of course. And then you'll be able to start it over. Stop means you're done. Okay? And once you're done, you can play your lesson. You can bring it all the way back to the beginning. You can bring it all the way to the end. So those are the main buttons there. Now, I'm just going to give you an example of a recording. So as I'm speaking here, I'm just going to record all of this so that I can show you some of the different features that are available within this program. Now, when you're done speaking, of course, you're going to hit the stop button, and then all of those features will become available. A lot of them, if you just pause, you're not able to trim, you're not able to cut, you're not able to delete, you're not able to do a lot of things by just pausing. So in order to be able to use these effects, you need to stop. So now that I've stopped it, it's showing me that it's 24 seconds long. You can zoom out so that you see more, okay, or you can zoom in. Right? So you have the zoom capability. That's one thing you can do. If at the end I hesitated or I don't like the last part at all, I could click and then I could say, okay, play that. So in order to be able to use and say, yeah, that's where it started to go bad, is at 21. So I could select all the way back to 21, and then with that selected, I can cut that out and try it again. Now, when I say try it again, when I hit record, it's going to give me another timeline. So I'm going to give that another shot and end this lesson this way. And then when I hit that, and I go all the way back here, I can play it from the beginning, and then when the first one's done, the second one's going to kick in, and these will automatically, when I save my project or I save my file, they will be brought together. Now, just for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to delete that one for now and show you a few other options. One of which is you can select the entire speech and then change a few things. You can change the way the voice is going to sound. So you go to Effect here, and a couple of real easy ones is change the pitch. So you can go a higher pitch or a much lower pitch, depending on the effect you're looking for.
So as I'm speaking here, I'm just going to record all of.
So as I'm speaking here, I'm just going to record all of.
I can also change the tempo. Now, if you're asking or you're asked to do something that's going to last, let's say, 20 seconds, you can slow this whole thing down without affecting the voice. So I can come back here and I can say, I want to change the tempo. I want to speed it up a little bit. And then, so as I'm speaking here, I'm just going to record all the. And then I'm going to go OK and see how much of the timeline I'm going to take up. It's going to be less. You see I'm down to 16 seconds now. So now when I play this, I'll be speaking much quicker. So as I'm speaking here, I'm just going to record all of this. So those are just two of the effects that you can add using this program. Another thing I want you to know is I want you to know that you can add music to the background. So from Project, I'm going to import audio. Of course, you're going to need to know where you have this audio file. So you can put it, if you're a teacher, you can put it on a drive where the students can access it. If you're a student, of course, you would have it available on your M drive somewhere. So now I know that I happen to have an audio file that I can use on my M drive. And I believe I called it Nice Sound or something like that. There it is. Nice Sound. Now I have two nice sounds. Just want to make sure I have the right one. I have two different sizes, so I want the bigger of the two. So now it's brought in my nice sound, and it's quite a bit shorter than the other one. That's fine. Just for the sake of this lesson, that's not a problem. Now, if I play both of them, like right now, the song in the background is going to be as loud as my voice. I'm not going to want that. So at some point, you're going to see me reduce this, and then you're going to hear that the background sound really is background sound. So as I'm speaking here, I'm just going to record all of this so that I can show you some of the different features that are available within this program. Now, when you're done speaking, of course, you're going to hit the stop button, and then all of those features will become available. Now, ideally, of course, I would want the sound that I'm importing to be longer or as long as my clip. Otherwise, I might want to just insert it again. But again, for the sake of this video, for the sake of brevity, I'm just gonna keep going from here. Once you've got your speech and it's exactly the way you want it to, you've trimmed out the parts you didn't want, and maybe you re-recorded parts that you needed to re-record, that's fine. You put your song in and everything is good. I would recommend two things. First, save the actual project, which is a combination of all the clips that you've got in there. Then when you're done saving the project, you would then export as a wave. Now this is the file that you're going to use to listen to using something like Media Player. Okay, so it needs to be converted. The project itself won't play for other people, so when you load this into your MP3 player, it's not going to work as a project. Okay, you're saving it as a project if you want to edit it or change it in the future and create another WAV file or another MP3 file. So when you're creating something that you want other people to listen to, you're going to export as a WAV. Okay, you're going to hit OK here, and then make sure you export it somewhere where you'll be able to find it. So here, I'm just going to name this lesson, and then I'm going to hit enter. Now, I'm not going to be able to open that from this program. This program opens Audacity files and projects. What I'm going to want to do is find that file. So I'm going to use Explorer. I'm going to find where I put that file, which is on my M drive, and I know that I called it lesson. And then when I open that, it's this one right here. When I open that, it's going to launch Media Player. As I'm speaking here, I'm just going to record all of this so that I can show you some of the different features that are available within this program. Now, when you're done speaking, of course, you're going to hit the stop button, and then all of those features will become available. A lot of them are just because you're not able to trim, you're not able to cut, you're not able to delete, you're not able to do a lot of things by just pausing. Okay, so those are the basic instructions on how to use the program Audacity.